and welcome. It's Julie here, your host of Julie Davis Flower Workshops, and of course Flowers Start, the online flower arranging classes. It's the 1st of December and I've decided that this year I'm going to try and film a video every day throughout the month of December up until Christmas Eve. So do check back to my channel and see whether I have achieved that goal. So I'm wrapped up. I've just come back from a class in Canterbury. We've been making Christmas stories, and if you are watching and you'd like to know, have some more videos about Christmas story making, do leave me a comment. Perhaps you want to know what materials to use or what kind of greenery works best, how you wire up pine cones, orange slices, that kind of thing. I'm the florist that teaches, so I'm here to help you gain the skills and confidence that you need so you can decorate your home as you want to this festive season. So I'm wrapped up, Christmas jumper on, hot cup of tea. I have got my favourite Christmas mug, which is still up in the loft, so watch out for that in future videos to see whether I eventually do find where I stashed it over the rest of the year. So my job today is to make Sloe Gin. So spoiler alert, if you're thinking of gifting Sloe Gin for Christmas, really should have made it about 3 months ago. It takes at least 3 months to mature in the bottle. One way around this is to give your recipient the Sloe Gin in the making in order that they can then drain it off and bottle it up and drink it ready for when they want to have a drink. So I was rather late to the game this year, and part of the reason was that I can't drink alcohol anymore. A very sad occasion. So although I love making Sloe Gin, I can't drink it. And then it suddenly dawned on me, why don't I make Sloe Gin using 0% alcohol? It took me several moments to work that out. So for the first time this summer, I've been trying this alcohol-free gin, and to me, it tastes exactly like normal gin, to the extent of which I have to double check at the bar or with my husband if he's making me a gin and tonic at home that it is actually the non-alcoholic gin that's being used and not the real one. So it suits me. I know probably you may well have different tastes and choices if you want to do this, but the technique for making your Sloe Gin is exactly the same whether you're using the alcohol or the non-alcoholic method. And the only thing then is you need to have gone out and collected your sloes. So these are my sloes, and I put them in the freezer. I probably picked them at the beginning of October, and I put them in the freezer because it's said to be best to make your Sloe Gin after the first frost. Now, I don't know about you, but you know, here it is in December, and really it's a little bit cold, but it's not totally cold, and we haven't really had a proper frost. Hello, Lisa. It's so nice to see you here. Hurrah! Somebody's watching. So Lisa, do you make Sloe Gin? Do you enjoy drinking Sloe Gin? So normally what I would do, because I know this takes 3 months to make, so I want to gift it or drink it on the 25th of December, I would make a point of going out to find my sloes on the 25th of September to give me 3 months maturing time. So I've left it a bit late, number one, because I'd forgotten about using non-alcoholic gin, and then we haven't had a frost in September. So the way of getting around that is that if you put your picked sloes into the freezer, as they defrost, the skins crack open. And I think that's the only reason you wait for the first frost, because the skins are a little bit more tender. And if you do read some of the old recipes, they tell you to prick the sloe with a fork or a skewer, which just takes absolutely ages. So Lisa, your husband makes it. Oh, lucky you. I absolutely love it. It's a bit like drinking, do you remember Benylin, the cough mixture? I used to really enjoy that as a child and swill it round in your mouth. I think it's the adult version of cough mixture. So here are my sloes. So the sloes look a little bit like blueberries. So here they are frozen, so they've got a sort of frosty glisten on them. And they are the fruit of the blackthorn bush. So when you pick them, just be careful because there are quite sizable thorns. And they look very similar to damsons, and really it doesn't matter what you flavour your gin with, whether you've picked damsons or whether you've picked sloes. These are very cold. I'm going to put them back in the bag. And I have actually just been to the supermarket. When I sent my husband to the supermarket, he does our shopping. and I asked him to buy me some fresh cranberries, and they're in the freezer as well. So I bought cranberries really early this year because last year when I wanted to make cranberry sauce, they'd all sold out. So they're either there for cranberry sauce, and I'm thinking actually the fresh cranberry might make a good substitute as well. You can make cranberry gin, or we get mixed packs of fruits of the forest, so it's got blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, and you could put that into your gin to make you know, a winter berry flavoured gin as well. So I have taken these out of the freezer, and there isn't very many there. There's, you know, a handful there. It just takes ages to pick them, and I left it a little bit late, so obviously other foragers have been there before me. And the next thing you need is you need a clean jar. Now, if you're really, really careful or clever, you could actually feed your cranberries into the neck of your gin bottle. This one's only got a little bit of gin left, but it's ever so slightly laborious trying to put the sloes one by one into the bottle. So I am going to tip this out. So I have washed it up. It's nice and clean inside. And Lisa, you'll have to let me know whether this is what your husband does or whether he does it a different way from me. So I am putting those sloes into my pot like that, and then I just make the recipe up from now. So there's 3 vital ingredients: your fruit, my sloes, the sugar, and then there's the alcohol element, and in my case the non-alcoholic element. So I'm going to pour sugar into here, and I'm going to do an equal amount of sugar to berries. So really I'm just going to cover the berries, and it's all down to taste, but that's what I'm going to do. Just cover the berries with sugar and just see how it goes. And if it looks like I'm pouring far too much in there, I'll hold back. And if my instinct says I need more sugar, I will just pour a little bit more. So I've got a nearly empty bag of sugar here. So this is just regular sugar, the kind that you would make cakes with. And look, it's looking all snowy white already. The end bit's there. And then a brand new packet. I bought too much sugar when I made my Christmas cake. So open that packet there, and this time I may well, I think I can probably just tip it in because it's just doing it by eye. So, a bit more. I'm going to put that much sugar in. And then top it up with the alcohol of your choice. So I'm using the non-alcoholic gin. If you preferred vodka, you could use the vodka. And the only thing I would say is, you remember what you did at the time, but I have got another kilner jar of liqueur to show you, and I don't know what's in it. I don't know whether it's sloe gin, sloe vodka, sloe damson gin, or damson vodka, because I didn't ever write the name on the top. Whatever it is, it's very tasty, but you may want to label it. And what I would normally do is get a Sharpie marker and just write it on the top here. So here goes. Top up with gin. Glug, 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 glug. Oh, it smells absolutely gorgeous. So I really like the taste of alcohol and the smell of it as well. It's just that my stomach and my head can't cope with it anymore. So I do rather miss the theatre of having a lovely drink at Christmas time. So I'm glugging that in. Oops. Oh, there's a tiny bit left, so I can have a few gin and tonics before the big day. And then snap the lid on. So it looks lovely and clear. It's almost like a grown-up snow globe. And then should we shake it? So what you need to do is every day you need to give the kilner jar a shake. And over time, it will start to go purple. And you'll see it, you know, just getting a more and more intense colour. So I've left it too late, really, to drink this year. Of course, you could drink it any time you wanted to. And if I was going to gift it, I could gift it. Actually, when I gift it, I'm really mean because I don't want to gift all of it because I like it so much. But if you were gifting it to somebody and perhaps you were going to be a participant and you were going to drink it, I would probably just put a label on that and say Sloe Gin, you know, keep for 3 months and then sieve it out. So I would just put it over a basin and put a sieve on the top and just pour it through the sieve, so you've just got the pure liquid, and then the sloes will be left behind. And then you can decant it into a more decorative bottle. So I'm just at the moment trying to get the sugar to dissolve. There's a slight purpley tinge developing. So just give you something to think about. While you're making a cup of tea in the morning, you can add shake Sloe Gin to your list of things to do that day. So over time, you will be left with something that is beautiful and rich in colour, like this one. So this Sloe Gin, I have been hiding because, well, all the adults in my household and family really like Sloe Gin. So I make it and then hide it away in order that it doesn't get drunk too fast, because I've put my heart and soul into this. Yes, it's really good, Lisa. And I've only just discovered that non-alcoholic gin over the summer. I've heard people talk about it, and I've looked in the supermarket and I couldn't find it. So I think it must be becoming more popular. And even some of our pubs in town have been selling it. So that's been really good. So I don't know whether you can see the fruit that is in there, and that lovely ruby red colour. So that has been steeping. I reckon this has probably been steeping for at least 2 years. I definitely didn't have it last year, didn't bottle any last year, so probably bottled it the year before, which makes it 2019. And I've discovered in the back of my cupboard a lovely bottle of Sloe Gin, which is all ready with a Happy Christmas label on the front, ready to gift. So that's all you do. And I bought these online, and if I remember, I will leave a link to these little bottles. You don't need to buy bottles specially. You might want to save them throughout the year. What makes a really good Sloe Gin bottle, I found, is the glass jar. You get salad cream in and salad dressing, something like that, because the trick is, if you're gifting it, is to put it into a really small bottle so that you save some for yourself. So the idea of doing this is, actually, I've put the date on the top here. Well, the date on here, this can't be right. It says the 28th of August, 2018. So I have, well, who knows? And it does actually say on the top, Sloe Gin, August 2018. So it's even more vintage than I thought. So my idea is for Christmas, I'm not hosting Christmas this year. I'm going to family, so I thought what I might do is bring my mobile bar cart with me. And I have got this really, really great tote. I'm not sure what you call it, but I bought this in a charity shop when I was visiting one of my sisters. So it is pine, and it's got a little maker's mark at the bottom. It says Keen Pine down there. It looks really 1980s to me, late 80s, early 90s. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use it for. It's really, really heavy. But I thought, wouldn't that look great if I arrived at Christmas and I'm going to try and balance this carefully. I've got my little liqueur glasses here on the top. I could have my napkins and my nibbles in the bottom, perhaps some really lovely dark chocolate. And then I could have the Sloe Gin, and it's sort of party city, and because it's portable, I can always make sure that it's sitting next to me. So what I'm going to do now is, I thought I might give it a bit of a zhuzh up, and I have bought some white wax from Annie Sloan, and I just wondered, a little bit of a DIY. It's got this lovely engraving at the top, and I just thought, I've got this white wax, shall I have a go and see whether I can white wax this, just to bring out a bit of decorative detail and to stop it looking so old. So it's not old enough to look vintage, it just looks a bit old-fashioned. So I thought I might sort of bring it a little bit more up to date by white waxing it. So with my tablespoon to hand, I'm going to open the tin of white wax, which just looks like solid paint. Take my chalk brush, dab it around, and then this is the scary bit. I'm not really a white wax aficionado, but I've seen plenty of YouTubers doing this. So I've seen Julie at Julie's Designs and Signs, and Yvonne at the Ginger Chick Rehab, and also Jane at Second Hand Gem. I think that's the name of Jane's channel. I'll put a link to those channels underneath. And you sort of paint it on. Of course, Jamie Ray Vintage as well. She does this. It does feel slightly counterintuitive as you paste it on, as to whether it's going to stick. And the idea is you paint it on, so it's almost like a sort of see-through white paint, if such a thing exists. And then you buff it all off, so the white will get stuck in those nooks and crannies. And the rest of the surface, it will just sort of be retained with its sort of woody colour. So shall we see whether that has worked? It smells really, really nice. It's got like a sort of bit of a winter glisten on there. So just a sort of modest update. And then wiping, I'm using one of my old muslins from baby days. But just where it's been carved, you get a little bit of the whiteness left in the back there. So I'm going to finish off doing that. And you never know, I can't taste test the gin that's already ready to be bottled because it's the proper alcohol. But I will be waiting with bated breath for I can taste my this year's vintage of Sloe Gin, and I'm going to put a huge sign on this, non-alcoholic Sloe Gin, in order that it means that I get a chance of tasting it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave me a comment, give me a like, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. And fingers crossed, I'll be back here for another 23 videos before Christmas arrives. Oh, thanks, Mary, all the way from the US. Perhaps I should have said, can you tell from my accent? I live in the southeast of England, so about 50 miles from London and probably about 50 miles from historic Tunbridge Wells, so in the southeast of England. Normally, it's not dreadfully hot, not dreadfully cold, and it hardly ever snows, but it's definitely feeling wintry today. So I shall say goodbye, and I will catch up with you next time. Now, this is the first time I've done a YouTube live. I do lots of Facebook lives. And I can't, looking at my screen, can't quite work out how to turn the off button off. So perhaps at this stage, I should say that when the video has been published, I will leave all my contact details underneath, and I have a really fantastic Facebook group which is free to join. You can either search for it as Flower Start World or click the link that I'll leave in the video when it gets published, and you're more than welcome to join that. And we talk about things, all things flowers, decorating for a home, gardens, sort of homemaking, that kind of thing. And I do quite a lot of thrift hauls as well, but they've always got a flower arranging edge to them. So I've got 4 buttons to choose, so there's going to be a lot of prodding at this point as I decide. It's not the button that I can see that's to turn the camera around. There's a text button. There's then a button with 2 circles and then with 3 little dots. So I'm going to go for the 3 little dots. And that's not going to work. That says save, share, mute. So then here we go. I'll go the next button along. That brings up the comments. Oh, that's filters for my face. And I think the next one is the comments. So, oh gosh, Aruni, how do I get out of this? I'm going, oh, my big finger over the camera there. If I press the live button, oh gosh, I don't know how to do this. Oops. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know what I do. Perhaps I'll have to take you off your the tripod and then fiddle around. We've got a very unpleasant view of my under chin area. Let's have a look and see what we can do. Right then, you're up there. It says save highlight. Oops, not done that. Slide it this way back. Oh yes, I seem to have done it now. So I've done the back button and it says to stop streaming. So I'll say okay, and I think I will need to have a massive swig of gin at this point. So I shall say goodbye and catch up with you tomorrow.